And once we were inside, I grabbed a hold of her and sealed her lips with my own.
もう、今はお風呂に入るときよ。
Yeah, I know, but kissing sound effect. Lucy was suddenly really receptive to my tongue, and I could feel a bulge forming in my pants. And
待って。とにかくお湯を入れないと。
yeah, I released her from my grasp, albeit reluctantly. What was this feeling? It merely being away from her for a second was painful. I never would have experienced this emotion if I hadn't fallen in love. She twisted the handle above the tub, and hot water flowed out in a heavy stream. This bathtub is pretty grand.
これは芋の放浪性よ。滑らかな肌触りといい、見た目の重厚感といい、最高よね。
I'm still figuring out where the fucking drain is, cause like it's already above the it's already above the ground. It's already off the ground. I mean, so like, yeah, whatever. I don't care anymore. I wonder how much something like this costs. I mean, the whole house was magnificent, so I'd expect nothing less from the tub.
私、浴槽にバラの花を浮かべるのが好きなの。
Lucy took a rose that was set off to the side in her hand and delicately plucked petals one by one from it. She laid them on the steaming bath water, and the rosy fragrance filled the room. Whoa, and that's nice. I like the smell.
でしょ？一度慣れてしまうと、これがないと物足りなくなるわよ。さて。
Once she had put a full rose worth of petals, the bathtub was appropriately filled with hot water.
脱がないと入れないわけだけど。
Yeah.
やっぱりちょっと落ち着かないわね。人と一緒にお風呂に入るというのは。
Didn't you have a maid to help you with the bath?
いたけど、タオルとかバラを用意するだけで、入浴自体は一人だったから。
Oh, I get it.
ゆうたはちょっとベッドの方に行っていてくれない？見られていると思うと、やっぱり脱ぎにくいわ。
Sure.
いいわよ。
Gotcha. I returned to the bathtub. Lucy's white naked body was submerged in the steaming water.
やっぱり気持ちいいわね。ベタついていた体を流すのは。
Thank you, convenient censoring. And now I will proceed to ruin it because I want to see your tits. Very inconvenient now. But you've already seen the line. She cupped some water in her hand and gently ran it over her collarbone. Her supple skin seemed to absorb the water as small beads trickled down.
見ていないで、あなたも入ったら？
I mean, you know, at least I don't have to censor the armpits. Oh, right. I hesitated for a second, but realized there was nothing to hide anymore. I just dropped my clothes right there. I had a half chub, but I figured why bother hiding that either.
も
Lucy turned away shyly, her face red.
う、ゆうだったら、そんなに大きくしてしまって。
I wonder why. What do you mean? Well, I can't really help it.
今はお風呂に入るときよ。
She had used that excuse when we got here.
なのにどうしてそんなにおちんちんを大きくさせているのかしらね。
Well, you know, because I desire you. I also reused the same line from before. She didn't exactly seem to be opposed. She wore the same expression as before. This was getting more interesting by the minute.
とにかく入ったらどう？裸でいると冷えるわよ。
Okay, coming in. Lucy scooted to the edge of the tub, and I slipped my body in against her. The water rose as I entered, and flowed out smoothly in the hole on the side of the tub. It's in the side of the tub? I guess it is closer to the wall than the floor, but there's a reason why the drain hole would be on the bottom of the tub. Oh, this is nice. I could feel the warm water loosening my tense muscles. We finally faced one another in the tub. I was a little upset that the rose petals obstructed my view from her beneath the water.
やっぱり変な感じがするわね。浴槽の中に二人でいるなんて。
Yeah, I can see that. But it feels amazing. Being in a warm bath with my lover, I never dreamt it could be this amazing. It was indeed cramped, but I felt like it was bringing us closer in more ways than one. Our legs were lined up with one another, squishing together. Your skin is so smooth.
この入浴のおかげかしらね。
No. I playfully grabbed her calf, and she flinched with a ticklish laugh. You'd like taking baths, right?
ええ、平日は3回入るわね。朝起きてすぐと、学校から帰った後、そして寝る前。
Like I said, overdoing it. And weekends?
気が向けば何度でも。
Ah, shit. I was hoping her tits would stay under the text box. I guess we can't all have nice things. And that's pretty serious. She exhaled pleasurably and leaned back against the sloped sides of the tub. That shifted some of the petals on the surface of the water, and I got a glimpse of her naked body underneath. The protuberances. What a word. Immersed in water made me gulp heavily. And they looked massive, poking through the water, and aided by a slight buoyancy. She quickly covered them with her arms. You're not going to show me?
だって恥ずかしいわ。
Well, it's important to overcome the embarrassment. Yep.
というより、肌を晒すのは愛し合う時だけという気持ちがあるから。
And what else is it and you think this isn't going to turn into a hate scene? How naive. I moved in a few inches closer to Lucy. The water splashed gently. Does your body still hurt?
体？
You know, you said you were sore down there.
ああ、さあ、どうかしらね。ちょっとわからないわね。
God damn it. Lucy averted her gaze, but I could see her grinning. Based on her reaction, I doubted she was in pain anymore. Okay, how about I give it a check? She had been grinning, but it quickly turned to surprise.
確かめるって、やだもう言うだったら。
You know cunnilingus.
くんに？ああ。
Lucy had mentioned that she studied thoroughly. I was glad I didn't have to explain it to her.
けど。
It's not that hard to explain. Lucy sunk down slightly in embarrassment.
それって本当なのかしら。
Is what?
あんなところをペロペロするなんて、ちょっと信じられなかったというか。
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal for married couples. I stated it confidently, despite having never done it myself. Lucy had the knowledge, but was also lacking in the experience department. So I figured that I'd lead her down the path I wanted to go.
そうかしら。
Oh, yeah.
でもさすがに汚いと思うのだけど、あんなところ。
You're censored?
おまんこ？
We call it that over here.
おまんこね。
Yeah, you know, normal people would call it a pussy, right? But, you know, the people who made this game are too pussy shit to keep it in the game. And they censored it, even though every voice actress has said the word. So, you know, the voice actresses aren't censoring it. It's someone else. Hearing the princess casually mutter such a dirty word stirred my excitement even more. There's no way it's dirty. I don't think any part of you could possibly be dirty.
って高笑いもできないような気分だけど。でも本当は私のおまんこ汚くないかしら。
How could it be? My heart skipped a beat at how straightforward she was. Your entire body is so attractive and beautiful. I knew it was a corny line, but I kept a straight, honest face. I knew saying it that way was more likely to help her relax.
ありがとう。ゆうたにそう言ってもらえるとやっぱり嬉しい。
Lucy, sit down up there. She didn't move at first, but nodded after a few moments. She stood up slowly, and I got an eyeful of her perfect proportions.
こう？
5:28. I had everyone gather in my house, like usual, but Lucy was the last one to arrive. That alone wasn't a big deal or anything, but... Are you feeling unwell?
ええ。何なのかしらね。ちょっと体が重たくて。
Everyone gathered around her, looking a little concerned.
やっぱり風邪かしら。
And maybe because we had sex in the water so long last night. I was even sneezing a little bit afterwards.
お嬢様、体調が優れないのですから、今日はやはりお休みになった方が。
Dora was looking even paler than her and Worry.
大したことはないわよ。学校はなるべく休みたくないと前から言っているでしょ。ですが大丈夫。薬も飲んだことだしすぐに良くなるわよ。今日いい。
I signaled her and pressed my hand to her forehead. Normal temperature, but don't push it, okay? If you want to leave early, I'll accompany you. Is this going to be like a regular occurrence thing? Where like, after every hate scene... after every hate scene, Lucy seems sick. But it's not because of anything... It's not because of any actual real reason. But because of what they did during the hate scene. You know, like in the first one, she got sick because she sucked his blood. right? And now this one, she got sick because she was in a hot bath for too long. You know, she just wanted to be extra clean, and no other reason.
わかった。でもちょっと珍しいね。ルチェ、意外に頑丈なのに。どういう言い草よ。
I mean, she's not wrong. It was the usual banter, but Lucy didn't seem to have the energy to retaliate.
季節の変わり目ですからね。体調を崩さないよう気をつけましょう。そういえば、ちょっと暑くなってきたわね。
Lucy squinted her eyes and looked up at the sky.
ではこのドーラが日傘の代わりとなって影を作って差し上げますので。
Flap, flap.
かえって暑苦しいわよ。なんと
More like, never mind, I'm looking at.
5月も終わりだからね。もうすぐ衣替えだよ。衣替え？ふん、そんなのがあるの？
Change the F to a P and you'd understand what I was gonna say.
長袖から半袖に変わるだけだけど、あとちょっと生地が薄くなるのかな。そう、確かにそっちの方がいいわね。こう暑くなってくると。半袖？半袖とは我が輩ちと感心しませんな。
You say that like it's gonna happen. There are summer outfits, all right. I mean uniforms, all right. And why not?
裏若い乙女がむやみに肌をさらすなどと感心できるものではありませぬ。でもそれを言ったらそもそもスカートだし。
Yeah, I think she's already exposing enough skin, you know. And guess what? More people are into the thighs than the arms. You know, I don't think everyone out there is like is obsessed with. Well, I was gonna say arms, but I was comparing it to Kira again. Another JoJo comparison with these visual novels. Not everyone's obsessed with arms as they are with legs. All right. Kira's obsessed with hands, by the way. It doesn't really work out, so I didn't want to keep the. Never mind. Not to mention her regular clothes are way more revealing than even this uniform.
何をおっしゃいます。あれは吸血鬼の王女だけに許された清掃ですぞ。そのような目で見る方が間違いなのでございます。
Right, because if the accepted garb of the royal family was a bikini. That doesn't mean anything, Dora. What are you talking about? Okay, fine.
あら、ルーチェ風邪ひいちゃったんだ。ええ、ちょっとね。映すと悪いからちょっと距離を取った方がいいわよ。平気平気。けどちょっと頑張りすぎたのかな。
Yeah. I wonder what she was doing that she may have overdone. Overdid what?
何をっていうか、だってほら、海外から戻ってきて、うちの学校休みは日曜だけでしょ？だから、疲れもたまるんじゃないかな、その細い体に。
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you meant something else. Oh, yeah, that's what you meant.
他になんかあるの？
Nothing. Oh, I don't know. I gotta pee. I kept my poker face somehow and escaped. Oh, he was meant to have a poker face there. Sibian might just be right about that, though. She had only planned to be back at night or two, but she ended up being grounded for a long time. And then later that night, we really went at it. Oh yeah, technically the second hate scene didn't have anything nothing went wrong in the second hate scene afterwards. I couldn't just leave it all to Dora. I had to take care of her too. Yeah, Lucy might think it a little suffocating, but it's my responsibility as her husband. Yeah. I hardly paid attention in class. It was all focused on Lucy. Okay, we're not doing this again with... We're not doing a fucking Karen thing again where we're gonna fucking look at her. We're gonna watch her throughout the entire time. Throughout the entire class for days on end. And then the one day he slips up and doesn't pay as much attention to her, that's when it goes wrong. It wasn't that class was boring or anything. I just wanted to look at my wife's face, you know, and that's all. I mean, I can't deny that it's a little boring. As for Lucy, she looked a little out of it, but was still following along seriously. I couldn't help but respect her for that. It looked like the medicine she took had worked, as she was more or less back to normal after class. Let's go home. Let's go home.
ええ。今日のユウだったら妙に落ち着きがなかったわね。先生にも怒られていたし。
Yeah, you know.
私の方はチラチラ見ていたようだけど。
It seemed she had noticed. I nodded. We kept quiet in the halls so as not to be overheard. But she asked right as we were outside the building.
どうして？
Well, she quickly moved her face close to mine, as if to suppress my words.
夜か。待てないのかしら。
Huh? Oh, not that. Come on. You're not well. You can't think about that now.
あら、そう。少し残念ね。
Yeah, but like, you know, isn't it a husband's job to take care of his wife's needs? You know, you know what I mean, right? So what if she has a cold? It's your fault that she has the cold. So like, you know, never mind. Well, right after you're better, okay?
もう、ユウだったら。
Despite her sexy smile, she got bashful rather easily. Lucy was cute beyond belief.
けれど、じゃあどうして？
I was just worried about your cold.
ああ、もう、ユウタも結構過保護ね。それじゃあドーラやお父様と変わらないわよ。
Well, he did make the comparison to Dora, so that makes sense. Well, that may be, but it's infatuation in my case. I know it.
もう。
I ended up saying something a little corny, but Lucy didn't look put off at all by it.
でもこれじゃあ、おちおち体調も崩せないわね。ユウタの学業のことを考えると。
Nope. Well, at any rate, you look like you're all better, so I'll be studious tomorrow.
ええ、そうしてちょうだいな。
6-3. It's not even a week past and she's finally in the short sleeves. Not even a week. Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. 6 days. I know my months, you know. March has 31 days in it. Shut up. Lucy was pinching her underarms with a perturbed look.
また体重のこと気にしてる。うるさいわね。別に心配してるわけじゃないわよ。ただこうして腕を見せるのだから一応はという気持ちよ。見せるって誰にさ？誰ということはないけれど、けどまあ少なくとも夫には見せるでしょうね。
ははは。
また変なこと言ってる。何が変なことよ。
But as far as Lucy's underarms went, they were amazingly cute. They had just the right amount of meat. I wanted to poke them.
さすがはお嬢様でございます。腕まで造形の美を見せていらっしゃる。
Well, I guess he doesn't have a problem anymore about her showing arms. For once, I had the same thought as Dora.
この前は感心できないみたいに言っていたのに。まあそれはそれとして美しいことには変わりありませんからな。
Dora was in the midst of praise, so I thought it was a good time to ask about the pool.
なの？プールですと？うん。プールがどうかした？
Dora flapped rapidly in a circle, and Yu-chan distanced herself. What's the matter, Dora? He's about to explode. That's why Yuna fucking... That's why Yuna distanced herself.
決まっておりましょう。ルーチェお嬢様が囚人の中、水着姿になるなど。このドーラ、第一の従者として感化できない気持ちでいっぱいでござりまする。あ、ただ、体育の授業は男女が別だから、プールも別々になるけど。そうであるなら、まあ。
But at the beach, there'll be plenty of guys around. I was sure it would be a hassle when it arose, so I kept quiet for the time being. Listen, don't need to worry about that. Alright? Dora shouldn't even be there with you two when you go to the beach.
それではお嬢様、強力無比なる日焼け止めを購入しておきますゆえ。勝手にしなさいよ。ああ。でもプールはちょっと憂鬱。
Oh, Yu-chan, you can't really swim, right? She nodded.
みんなはどう？普通に泳げる？私はあんまり。私も右に同じく。私は泳げるんじゃないかな、多分。
Well, that much is confirmed. She picked it up really quickly when she eventually did swim.
多分っていうのは？泳ぐなんてしたことないけど、別に難しそうでもないし。まあ、かりんちゃんは運動神経いいもんね。ルーチェは？私も泳げるんじゃないかしらね。多分何意味なく笑ってるんだよ。運動神経悪いくせに。言ったわね。やるか？まあまあお嬢様、浮き輪も用意いたしますので。
I don't think you should be trying to embarrass Lucy, alright?
泳げるようになるのがプールの授業だよ。
Right.
でも今年は仲間がいてよかった。私もなかなか上達しなくて。ただおあいにくさま。私はすぐに仲間ではなくなってしまうわよ。そうなの？
Why do I get the feeling that this is just a setup to a joke where the punchline is that she's going to take a really long time to learn how to swim? 無理でしょ。 Like, longer than everyone else.
言ったわね。やるか。
Come on, come on.
おはよう。涼しくなっていいよね。
Shibuyan stretched out to accentuate the new uniform's short sleeves.
ほんと。ああ、でも半袖になって普段は楽ちんだけど、夏が来てちょっと憂鬱だよ。どうして？春が来て、ずっと春だったらいいのに。
Can you not be so melodramatic? Wait, what? Why? Huh? Can you not be so melodramatic? Why? Hang on. Why'd you have to add the first part then?
決まってるじゃん。プールがあるから。でもめぐみ、泳ぎは得意なのに。そりゃあ泳ぎはね。でもさ、これよこれ。
Shibuyan zipped around behind Yu-chan and grabbed her boobs with both hands.
おお、ふっくふくですわ。もう、めぐみったらやめて。私、小さいですから。ユーナみたいに脱いでもすごかったらよかったんだけどね。
Do girls really stress about that?
そりゃするよ。
Hmm.
ユーナもそうだし、転校生3人組も。
Shibuyan glared around to the other three. Julie just fidgeted nervously. And Karen still didn't seem to grasp what was happening. My wife, well, she was.
まあ自信ならありますけれど。
Of course. She struck a pose and laughed regally.
ごはんごはやっぱりドーラ、肺病か何かじゃない？我が輩を病人にするのはやめてくだされ。ルーチェいいな。一体何を食べたらそんなになるわけ？
You know, tomatoes, and a side of tomatoes.
トマトかしらね。トマト？お弁当もなんだかだんだん味気なくなってきたわね。
Lucy was still bringing her own lunch.
特に自分の好きな料理だったりするとそんなことを思ってしまうけど。
The daily lunch was chicken in heavy tomato broth, chicken and rice. It looked amazing, so everyone chose it.
なんかお弁当にしないとダメなんだっけ？
Lucy just grumbled, since she couldn't tell her classmates the real reason, except that you can still translate into foreign country, right? Like, you know, something, the I mean, the main problem with that is that she didn't really explain the reason. Wait, did she explain the reason why she was home for so much longer than she expected was because she was sick? Because then she wouldn't be able to really explain using the same foreign country thing of like, oh, you know, different country. My country has different kinds of crops, you know, they're grown in a different way to how they are in Japan. So, you know, maybe my body isn't used to how Japan grows their crop. Never mind. Her not feeling well recently was just chalked up to a cold as well. A cold as well. Even I thought so. But the water here isn't in the human world was the primary concern. And she had only been eating food Dora brought for some time now, but just looking at her food, it didn't seem much different from what the school offered. Which might be why she was fine for so long after arriving here. What's gonna happen to her? I figured I'd ask her on the way home. I voiced my concern while we walked home.
それが自分でもよくわからないのよね。
Lucy just tilted her head in wonder.
お父様の反応は過剰だったとはいえ、私が丸一日眠り続けてしまったのも事実。でも口に入れるものを変えてみたところで特に何の変化もないし。
I see.
あなたや他のみんなと違うものを食べて、むしろそっちの方がストレスよ。もうやめようかしらね。飽きてきたし。
It's only been a week.
1週間でも毎日続いてみなさいよ。結構長く感じるわよ。
Oops. I guess it would.
やっぱりもう普通の食事に戻しましょうか。そうすれば一緒に食べられるじゃない。
I nodded hesitantly. We had been eating separately since she returned. It was also hard preparing two meals. Mine got cold while I waited for her. I would have been happy to have whatever she had, but that put me at a risk as well. So mealtime always felt lonely as a result.
いいでしょ。
Lucy wrapped her arms around mine and kept on about it.
もう飽き飽きだもの。
Yeah. I nodded more assuredly this time. The food probably wasn't the culprit anyway. So what was it? It seemed we would have to face some fundamental problems soon.
やっぱり夫婦ですもの。一緒に食事をしなければね。
Lucy's smile was beautiful, and nothing about it made me worried. I think one's health really depended on others being supportive. Just worrying doesn't help. For example, my dad drinks a lot, and all my mum does is berate him for it. Well, that's the way it goes when you're married. You have to be concerned about your partner.
どうかした？人の顔をじっと見つめたりして。
I was just thinking, I can't wait to eat with you again.
じゃあ今日は私が作ってあげる。
Oh, yeah.
ドーラの手を借りずに。
Oh?
喜んだと思ったらどうして急に表情が固まるのかしらね。
Oh, no, well, can you make it alone?
可能でしょう、多分。
Oh, can you make it alone? You made me lunch when we went to the theme park. Had you practiced since then?
いいえ。
So, why are you so confident? That lunch was amazing, but I would bet money that Dora did most of it.
だって愛情があるもの。
I'm happy about that. Don't get me wrong. Lucy was brimming with confidence as usual.
じゃあ着替えたら早速買い物に出かけましょ
Sure.
う。お待たせ。
We walked hand in hand to the shopping district.
こうして買い物に行くのもいいものよね。普段はいつもドーラが済ませてしまうから。
It's been almost a month. We went the first time you made me dinner as well.
ええ。でも雑事もそろそろ自分でするようにしないといけないわね。私ももう夫のある身だし。それで 最低限の身の回りのことは自分でするようにしているの。今のところ家事はまだ頼んでいるけど。
Like what?
髪の毛とか、まあそれは元から自分でやりたかったのだけど、ドーラがうるさかったから。
Princesses lived in a world of their own, literally. But Lucy was doing everything she could to break out of that shell. I respected that. And in my case, I didn't really do anything like that. I need to do some growing up too.
成長、どんな風に？
I guess I'm not really sure myself. I chuckled awkwardly.
前に言ったと思うけど、私たちはユータの元服に合わせてこちらにやってきたの。とはいえ、元服というのは私たちの風習にのっとった判断だわ。だからこちらにおいてはまだまだ大人への海底を登っている最中ということのようね。
Yeah, pretty much.
じゃあ私はそれを待つわよ。
She threw a loving glance my way, and my chest tingled. Thanks. I then had a thought I'd never had before. I was going to put my nose to the grindstone and study. And get into a good school. Maybe not a prestigious one, but at least a good company. Wait, what?
何か？
What would my position be if I married you?
さあ、王子じゃないかしら。
She said it casually, but what did that entail?
ユータの不安はわかるわ。けど、きっとどうにかなるわよ。
Yeah, it will. Yeah. I try to stop myself from letting my worries get out of hand. I could stand to learn a thing or two from Lucy's confidence.
他の異種族はそうでもないのだけど、吸血鬼が人間と結ばれることは記録に残っていないの。もしかしたら史上初かもしれない。
Oh, that's interesting.
そうであれば歴史もしきたりもないことになる。だからそれを一から作るのは私たちなのよ、ユータ。
Yeah. As we saw fit. There'd be obstacles, but it was up to us to overcome them. As long as our love endures.
愛情さえあればね、どうとでもなるわよ。
I was just thinking that. Lucy nodded and smiled mischievously.
じゃあ料理も同じよね。
That's a little different. We peeked into the small grocery store.
今の旬はアスパラガスとか長ナスなの。じゃあ旬の野菜にしましょうか。
Cool. I like both of those.
あ、どんな料理にするかは帰ってから決めるからね。
Sure. Why are we doing... What to cook? If you want something simple, sauteing the asparagus and butter is really good.
バター炒めですか？じゃあそれにしようかしら。
Eggplant is good with lots of oil. But if you want to be healthy, bouillon is good too.
わかりました。
Can you tell us your recipe by chance? You betcha. We left the store after hearing the owner's secret recipe.
なんだ、結構簡単じゃない。
You haven't made it just yet.
まあそうだけど、次はお肉屋さんね。
Meat shop? You mean a butcher? What? Yep. We held hands again and walked down the street. This is nice. I felt like we were becoming more like husband and wife, and not just in title. Shopping is pretty fun. It's kind of a waste to leave it all to Dora.
そうね。
Lucy looked back over her shoulder and smiled.
買い物なんて私にとっては思いもよらないようなことだったのに、こうしていることがとてもしっくりくるな。なんだか不思議だわ。
Oops. I came at the time she specified, but as expected, is that me? But as expected, is that mean? The table was empty. Dora was fluttering around in a panic.
ああ、ユータ様。
I didn't get a response when I knocked, so I just came in.
これは失礼いたしました。とんと気がつきませんで。
How's Lucy doing?
それが様子を見に行ってもすぐに追い出されてしまうため、我が輩もようわからんのです。
I see.
心配にございます。
Just relax. Come on. You don't need to worry that much, do you? It's not like it'll be inedible. We bought a lot of extra food in case she messed up.
そんなことを心配しているのではござらん。
Huh?
お嬢様の可憐な指先が包丁で傷つくようなことでもあったらと思うと、もう心配で心配で。
Then maybe you should have taught her how to use a knife without cutting her fingers? Look, I understand that you can't use a knife with hands, so you use magic, but, you know, I'm sure you'd figure out a way. Yeah.
その傷口から出血が止まらなくなったら何といたしましょう。
Well, if that does happen, it would not be a good sign. Not because she's wounded, but more so that she's got thin blood. It's not a good thing to have thin blood. That's overreacting. I think that was a concern for people with hemophilia, but definitely not Lucy. See? Even Yuta gets it.
それに、傷口から悪性の雑菌でも入り込んだら。
She can wash it off. Dora was a pessimist through and through. I was more concerned with how the meal would turn out. Isn't it ready yet? I'm starving.
では、我が輩が様子を見に行ってきましょう。
Thanks. Dora obviously couldn't care less about the food.
またすぐに追い出されてしまいました。
Oh well. Guess we have to just wait. We sat for a little bit, but Dora just couldn't seem to stay still. Lucy mentioned it, but maybe the food isn't the cause, right?
はい。
The reason she was ill.
さようで。
They're finally gonna get into it. Dora finally came to a stop above the table.
我が輩の見るところ、関わりはないかと存じまする。
I figured. What could be the reason?
正直申しまして、皆目見当もつきませぬ。
That would make sense, considering Dora wasn't there when you first, did it.
そうそう、ユタ様、ちと失礼いたします。
Huh? Nip? How? What's the big idea? Dora plucked out one of my hairs. Then why was there a snip sound effect? Why wasn't there a pluck,
はい、申し訳ございません。ただ、御所様のご命令でして。
Fucking DNA test to see what percentage of vampire you are. From Gasparo? Why?
ユタ様があの時見せた力が何としても不可思議とのことで、一度調べてみたいとのご意向でございました。やっとできたわ。 待っていてくれたのね。
Good job. How'd it turn out?
ええ、きっとうまくできたと思うわよ。ごめんなさいね、待たせてしまって。
Nah, it's fine. Lucy lined up the dishes on the table, and Dora couldn't keep quiet any longer.
手を見せてくだされ、手を。切ったりしていないわよ、もう。
And tonight's menu: asparagus and bacon saute with grilled mackerel and eggplant, and topped off with boiled eggplant and Chinese chicken salad. Whoa, this looks great. I was honestly impressed.
イワシを3枚におろすのに手間取ってしまったけど、慣れれば簡単ね、あんなのは。
Lucy puffed out her chest pridefully.
最初はおろし器で一生懸命おろしてしまったというのに。うるさいわよ。いえいえ、すなわち超速の進歩ということにござりまする。はあはは、やればできるというわけよ。
A classic Lucy moment. A classic Lucy moment.
じゃあ食べましょ
Yeah, let's. I tried some of the Chinese salad first. Om nom. That's super good.
う。よかった。ちょっと味見させていただいてもよろしいですかな。どうぞ。おお、なんとお嬢様には料理人の才までありまする。
I laughed at Dora's silly praise, but this was shaping up to be a nice evening. And the asparagus and mackerel were perfect. Wow, Lucy, you've really improved.
料理本と首っ引きになってしまったけどね。
I see. Maybe that's why she took so long.
でもいいものだわ。自分の愛する男のために食事を用意するというのは。
I kind of sunk down on my chair in shyness. Lucy kept warmly appraising me over the table. It's so much better eating together like this.
ええ、やっぱり明日からそうしましょ
I nodded.
う。おっと、では我が輩はそろそろ退散いたしましょう。いえいえ、お二人の邪魔はいたしませぬ。
Dora quickly fluttered out of the room before we could respond.
我ながら美味しくできたわね。
Lucy nodded in satisfaction.
でも毎日同じものを作るわけにはいかないから。ねえユウタ。学校に料理を作るようなそういう部活ってあったかしら。
Yeah, the cooking club.
ぴったりね。私そこに入ることにするわ。
Oh, not a bad idea.
そろそろこちらの生活にも慣れたことだし、部活に入るのもいいわよね。
I nodded. They had all refused it at first. I was still loyal to the Go Home Club, but changing might not be bad.
ユウタはどうする？
I think I'll pass. I don't really like cooking.
わかった。
Phew, that was great. Thanks.
こういう時なんで返すのかしら。
I think you just say you're welcome. Not many people actually do, though.
じゃあお粗末様でした。あら、もうこんな時間か。
Dinner had a slow start, but it ended up being pretty late when we finished.
しまったわね。
You mean because it's easy to put on weight if you eat too late?
嫌なこと思い出させないでよ。
Well, that's not true, but let's you know, let's let her feel that way. Feel like it is. She was thinking of something else. So,
レアの 時間がなくなってしまったわねと思ったのよ。
I know exactly what she meant by betting this time around. Your cold's all better, right? I started drooling slightly despite having just eaten.
どうだったかしらね。
Lucy laughed as she teased me. I was a young, virile guy, so even after our rough romp, I felt like I would be better to go another day, to go after a day. I would be ready to go after a day. Yeah, I mean, I could just as easily take care of myself, but that just sounded boring now.
ただ、遅い時間の食事と同じで、夜更かしも美容健康には良くないのよね。
Okay, well that one's true because you need a solid night's rest.
ということで、ごめんなさい。今夜はね。
Thank God. I mean, oh no, it's such a shame that we don't immediately jump into another hate scene after we already experienced a different one. Just because in the timeline in the timeline of events in this game, a week has passed. In reality, it's only been a day. Because we didn't see the in-between. No problem.
無理してる？
A little. Oh, maybe a lot.
本当は私もよ。だから、代わりにキスをして。
I moved around the table to kiss her. See you tomorrow.
ええ。おやすみなさい。
Night. The oddness of saying goodbye to my wife to go to a separate house hit me. Go to a separate house hit me. I need to get out of my house. You can just move in with her. What are you talking about? Independence had been on my mind. I turned around and saw Lucy putting her hand on her forehead. Maybe she was exhausted from cooking.